conversational BI helps user ask better questions for sure. But AI agents, they go further by helping them basically decide and act on it. AI does not really remove the need for good data. It actually increases it.
A dashboard is mainly a window into performance. A copilot is an assistant that helps you interact with the information. Okay? An AI agent is more like a digital team member that can perform a task or support a decision process iteratively without tiring.
I think we'll have to start treating AI agents like, good employees, give them a very clear job description, the right access, supervise them. And of course, do not let them wander around in the organization unsupervised. That is the shift from, passive insight, I would say, to active intelligence. The future is not AI instead of BI. The future is AI powered BI. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode from Edgematics, where we talk about data, analytics, AI, and the future of enterprise intelligence. I'm your host, Raheel Khan, and today we are discussing a topic that is very relevant for every data and business leader. That is from dashboards to decisions, how AI agents are changing data and analytics. So to take us deeper into this topic, I am delighted to be joined by a dear friend, my colleague, Zaheer Ahmed, who is a seasoned data and analytics leader with many, many years of experience across the EMEA regions, where he has worked on complex business critical data management and analytics and BI programs. He's also advised a lot of senior leadership on data strategy and overall enterprise analytics solutions. And also what makes this conversation especially interesting is that Zaheer and I have both worked together for many years, and we've seen the whole evolution of BI firsthand, from the early BI days to self-service BI, with visualization, to GenAI wave, and now we're talking about AI agents. So yeah, we go back to a time when BI was really the cool thing before everyone started to add AI to every conversation, to every product, and possibly even their coffee machines now. So Zaheer, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Raheel. It's great to be here. And yes, anyone who gets nostalgic about old BI tools probably deserves their own support group.
Right.
But jokes apart, we have seen this industry evolve through many waves. There was a time when just giving a business user a trusted report on time was a major achievement, way back 2000. Then dashboards came in with a big thing. The self-service BI came in. And now we are talking about GenAI, conversational analytics, and AI agents that can support decision and even trigger actions. It's quite a transformation, I would say.
Absolutely, Zaheer. So let's keep this conversation, practical and look at what has changed and also what has not changed and what enterprises should do now from this point forward. So let's start with the foundation and take a step back. When enterprise reporting, like you and I have worked on business objects and Cognos and the whole data warehouse, when they were at the center of BI, what problem was BI actually solving for those large organizations at that time, Zaheer?
The main problem was trust and consistency. Large organizations had data sitting across ERPs, CRMs, finance, supply chain, and many other systems. Every function had its own reports, its own spreadsheets, and sometimes own version of reality. BI tools like business objects and Cognos and MicroStrategy, they brought structure.
True.
They allowed organizations to standardize on reporting and define KPIs and give leadership a more reliable view on performance. And let's be honest, when a report refreshed successfully, the totals match, it felt like some miracle. That was the time.
Very true. I think sometimes the biggest innovation was simply, getting everyone to stop arguing about whose number was right, isn't it? And then the dashboards arrived. So what did dashboards improve then?
Dashboards made the BI more accessible. Instead of going through pages of reports like crystal reports, it was batch reporting given to multiple people. Business users could see trends, exceptions, and performance indicators very, very quickly at a single place. Every department had dashboards, every function had dashboard. Sometimes every meeting had coffee, PowerPoint, and 5 dashboards. So the challenge became, which dashboard should I trust? Which KPI matters to me? And what is the real insight?
True, exactly. In fact, sometimes you almost needed another dashboard to just explain the dashboard.
So true.
So would it be fair to say that the traditional BI was good at showing what happened, but business users increasingly they wanted the why, the what next, and the action?
Yes, absolutely. BI gave organizations trusted reporting. No doubt about it. Dashboards gave visual performance and management. But business questions evolved beyond static reporting. Users wanted or were seeking and asking for deeper questions. Why did this happen? What is driving the change? What is the risk that we are carrying? And what action should be taken? So that is where conversational BI, GenAI, and AI agents become so very important.
True. No, I think let's talk about the conversational BI. For years, business users they had to learn filters and dimensions and measures. I remember those days, drill downs, drill throughs. How can they simply now ask questions in plain English? And how big is that shift from a user adoption perspective?
It's a major shift, I would say. In the old world, the users had to learn the tool. Unless they do that, they will not be able to do activities that they want to. In the new world, the tool is learning how to interact with the user. That changes adoption completely because users do not necessarily want to become BI developers. And you have seen, and we know that so many people complained about it. What they really want is the answers and the explanation and the confidence on the data. Conversational BI makes analytics more accessible because users can now interact with data in their own language.
And this may finally, reduce the famous request. Can you just pull one quick report for me? Which is never a quick report or a quick request. So, what does conversational BI then change in that scenario?
Most importantly, it reduces the dependency on the pre-built reports. Right? We used to say it is bunny rabbits, they expand every day. In traditional BI, the dashboard designer had to anticipate what the question user might ask. With conversational BI, the user can ask a follow-up question dynamically. If a dashboard tells me that the revenue is down, the next question that we would like to know where it is down, which subject area, why it is down, what is the customer segment that where the it is going down, what is the product line, which salesperson, and what changed compared to the last month. Conversational BI allows that chain of questions to happen more naturally, I would say.
Right. But it cannot just be a chatbot sitting, Zaheer, on that messy data, isn't it? I mean, so what needs to be in place for it to work properly?
Exactly. The conversational BI is not just putting a chatbot on top of a database. It needs a strong semantic layer. And what does that mean to us is it needs to be governed metrics, trusted data, metadata, business definitions, access control, and the context, which is very important. If the user asks for revenue, the system needs to know what revenue means. Is it gross revenue, net, booked, billed, or recognized revenue? Because as we both know, the word revenue can start surprisingly very long meetings, and we have been through, right, when we were giving or doing the solutions. Otherwise it becomes a chatbot sitting on top of confusion, adding to the confusion, I would say. And the only thing worse than a confused dashboard is a very confident chatbot giving you the wrong answers with perfect grammar.
True. Well, that's a great way to put it across. So, conversational BI helps user ask better questions for sure. But AI agents, they go further by helping them basically decide and act on it, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so let's move on to Gen AI then, right? So in analytics, Gen AI is not just about generating text, right? It can summarize trends, explain anomalies. It can generate narratives, even write SQLs, assist in data preparation and all those sort of things. Do you see this as an incremental improvement, or do you see this as a fundamental shift from the past?
It's a fundamental shift, but only if implemented properly.
Okay.
Gen AI changes the relationship between the business user and data. Okay. Earlier users had to know what to look, where to look. Now
Mm,
they can ask what they want to understand, right? Earlier the users needed dashboards to be pre-designed. Now they can explore more freely onto the data set. Earlier the analyst had to translate business questions into data queries. Now AI can help with the translation. But
mm,
the quality of the answer still depends on the quality of the data, the
mm.
definitions, and the governance behind it.
Governance, exactly. So AI does not really remove the need for good data. It actually increases it, isn't it? Right.
Absolutely, yeah.
And a traditional report, may show a wrong number quietly, but Gen AI may be able to then explain that wrong number in a very beautiful way, isn't it? And that's kind of how it is. Okay.
Yeah, that's a brilliant one. What they need is explainability, the
Hmm.
lineage, and the governance. The
Hmm.
system should be able to tell the user where the
Hmm.
answer came from, which
Hmm.
data source were used for this, what assumptions
Hmm.
were made, and whether the answer is reliable. Because
Hmm.
Gen AI sounds confident, users may trust the output too quickly. That is why
Right.
validation and transparency, the human in loop, are very
Right.
critical.
That is where, yeah, and I think that is where demos and real enterprise implementations, they are very different. I mean, we have seen this demo works perfectly, and then real world we're always struggling. So why is a demo often much easier than the real thing, according to you, Zahir?
Because the real enterprise data is messy. There are
Mm,
multiple systems, different definitions, changing business rules, legacy platforms, data quality always a contentious issue, access restriction, and users who all want slightly different things. The demo is the easy part. Making it work
mm,
consistently is in
mm.
the enterprise environment is the hard part.
Very true. I think we have all seen demos, as I said, working beautifully on stage, and when the real enterprise data arrives, and suddenly the demo starts looking very, very nervous. Things just start to go wrong. So this is something that we have experienced so many times. Now let's move on from the Gen AI and the conversational BI to the AI agents, right? Which is where we are today. So, how would you explain the difference between, let's say, a dashboard, a copilot, and an AI agent?
A brilliant question. A dashboard is mainly a window into performance. A co-pilot is an assistant that helps you interact with the information. Okay. An AI agent is more like a digital team member that can perform a task or support a decision process
Mm,
iteratively without tiring. Okay. So, for example, a dashboard may show that customer churn has increased. A co-pilot may allow you to ask which customer segments are driving this churn. But an AI agent could go further and say, these are the top 50 at risk customers. These are
mm,
the likely reasons. These are the recommended retention action. And I can create a task for the account managers. Of course,
mm.
the sales team may still say, can we export this data to Excel? Because of traditions never die.
Of course, old habit die
Old
hard.
habits die hard. Yeah. So true.
Yeah, I think that is the shift from passive insight, I would say, to active intelligence, right? So, where do you see the strongest enterprise use cases for the AI agents? I think that's a very important question today.
Absolutely. There are several strong areas. To start with, what matters to the world is in finance. An AI agent could monitor the working capital, identify delayed payments, highlight customers with increasing credit risk, and suggest collection actions. So that is
Mm,
finance. In supply chain, now we see that in the supply chain in today's world, it is so dynamic and with war happening, an agent could monitor the delays, identify the bottlenecks, and
mm,
recommend an alternate supplier or an alternate route altogether. Now, sourcing stuff in Middle East has become a big challenge, right? So this can be very apt. In sales, it could identify the pipeline risk, recommend next best action, and help managers focus on the deals that need more attention. In data governance, it could so data governance is the other domain that could be where it could monitor the data quality, anomalies, alert the data owners before the data impacts the business reporting. Yeah.
Okay. Now that makes analytics much more, I would say, operational, right? But if agents can recommend or take actions, then the big question is how does organization then control the risk side of things?
Very important question, I would say. AI agents need boundaries. They need clear roles, permissions, audit trails, human approvals where needed, and measurable performance indicators. There is a big difference between an agent recommending an action and agent executing that action automatically. For many enterprise use cases, especially in finance, compliance, risk, customer impact areas, human approvals are still very, very important.
I think we'll have to start treating AI agents like good employees. Give them a very clear job description, the right access, supervise them, and of course, do not let them wander around in the organization unsupervised. I think that is going to be absolutely critical, right?
Absolutely.
So let me ask you a provocative question, Zaheer, and I think this is a golden one. Are dashboards dead today?
No, I don't think so. Dashboards are dead. Although I'm sure some business users have wanted to declare that few dashboards are dead after trying to find out that good number. Even after 20 minutes, they couldn't. Right, but their role is changing. Dashboard role is really changing. They are still useful for monitoring. Executives will still want a high level view of the performance. Operation teams will still need control towers, as we say. Finance teams will still need those management packs. But dashboards may no longer be the primary way people explore data.
Right. So dashboards are not dead, but we are saying that dashboards alone are no longer enough. That is basically the new normal, if you like. So what does that mean for organizations, who have large BI investments already in place?
It means they do not need to throw anything away. The best organization will continue with both worlds. They will keep the discipline of BI governed data, trusted metrics, standard definitions, lineage, quality checks, but add the AI driven interaction on automation on top. AI should build on the BI foundation, not bypass it. If organizations skip that foundation and jump straight to AI, they may get impressive demos but poor business outcomes.
Okay, so the future is not AI instead of BI. The future is AI powered BI. I think that's the right way to put it across, right? And so, what lessons from the BI era, still matter in the Gen AI and the agentic AI era, from your standpoint, Zaid?
There are several of them. First, definition matters. If sales means one thing to finance and another thing to the operations, AI will not magically fix anything. Second, data quality matters. If the source data is wrong, the output will be wrong. Whether it is a report, it's a dashboard, or it's a model or an AI response. Third, business ownership matters. Analytics cannot be purely an IT project. The business must own the KPIs, rules, definitions, and their outcomes. Fourth is the adoption matters. Even the best technology fails if the people do not trust it or use it.
True, true. Let's pick up the governance side of it. I think that's the important aspect. So why does it become even more important, to have a proper governance framework in the AI era from your standpoint?
Because trust is the foundation. Trust does not come only from the AI model, it comes from the whole ecosystem around it. Data quality, metadata, lineage, access control, business definition, testing, monitoring, and human oversight. A lot of people talk about AI models, but in the enterprise world, the model is only the part of the whole story. The real question is, can the organization trust the output enough to make a decision?
Right. And I think that means experienced data teams become more important, not less important in this kind of a scenario.
Absolutely, no two ways about it. The people who understand the data landscape, the business processes, the reporting challenges, and the governance issues are critical in making AI successful. The AI era does not make professionals less relevant, it makes them more important.
So let's make this practical then, right? So, for example, if a CXO, right, a CIO, CDOs, CFOs, or business leaders, if they're listening and wondering where to start, what would be your advice to them?
Brilliant. Start with the real business use cases. Do not start with the technology. That is no. Start with the business problem where better insights and faster actions can create value. For example, reducing customer churn, improving working capital, optimizing supply chain delays, improving sales conversion, reducing operational risk, automating management reporting, or improving data quality monitoring. Then ask, can AI help us move from reporting the issue to recommending or taking an action?
And from your experience, what data readiness questions should they ask before building AI agents? What's
Yeah,
kind of the prep work that they need to do?
they should ask for, do we have the trusted data sources? Do we have clear KPI definitions? Do we understand the data lineage? Do we have the governance around access and security? Do we have a semantic layer or business friendly data model? Do we have the right operating model between IT, data teams, and the business users? AI agents are only as good as the ecosystem they operate in.
Got it. And also, I mean, should they start with a big bang approach, or they should do, like a focus proof of concept or a proof of value or like a pilot project? What's your recommendation to that?
Absolutely. This is the question that will be asked every time for every business project, right? We should start small, but with a meaningful use case that really has an impact. Pick one high value problem, build a control proof of value. Okay. Put governance around it, measure the outcome, learn from it, and then scale. And please do not start with let's AI enable everything. We cannot boil the ocean. That is how you end up with an AI toasted before you fixed your customer data.
Exactly. So not AI theater, but measurable business value, right? That's what you need to look at. So how important is the business involvement in all this? I mean, this cannot be just an IT or an innovation project. What's business involvement in this kind of projects?
It is highly critical. If AI agents are designed only by technology teams, they may become technically impressive but practically irrelevant to the business community. And as we know, Rahil, that so many data warehousing projects failed because of the same thing. Too many things we wanted to accomplish. Big dreams were given, etc. So the business needs to define the problem, the process, the decision points, the risk, and the success criteria. AI agents should be designed around real workflows and not around the data availability.
Availability. True. I completely agree on this point. The value will not come from just answering questions. The value will come from improving a decision at the end of it, or be able to take the right action at the right time. Right. So cool. Another question I think people ask whenever we talk to customers, will AI replace analysts? Right. What's your view, the way things are going?
I do not think it removes the need of analyst, but it changes the role. You remember in the good olden days when we were doing BI, people used to say, oh, BI will take care of everything, and then you will not require all this army of people that are doing the work. So it's not like that. Analysts will spend less time producing repetitive reports, rather more time validating insights, asking better questions, understanding business context, and driving decisions. And hopefully they will spend less time being asked, can you just pull one quick report, which as we both know is never quick.
So less report factory kind of a setup, and more of decision making in this whole process, right?
Exactly. Like in the BI era, a lot of effort went into producing reports. In the
Hmm.
AI area, more value will come from interpreting challenges and applying insights. Okay. The best analyst will combine the data literacy, business understanding, and AI literacy. So you see his role is growing. It is not getting diminished. They will know how to question the output, validate the assumptions, and translate insight into business actions.
So, from a human, you mentioned human in the loop a few times, right? So, what should human continue to own in this AI-driven analytics world? What's their role then?
Human still needs to own judgment and accountability. AI can support decisions, but humans understand the context, the
Hmm.
politics behind it, the customer relationship, ethics, and business
Hmm.
trade offs. And AI still does not fully understand why a meeting scheduled for 30 minutes somehow become 90 minutes.
90 minutes. That may be the last thing AI ever solves. So, but jokes apart, Zaheer, the human role, right? So we're saying this is becoming more strategic, not less important. I think that's a very important message that we want to give to our listeners. So the human in loop will always be there. It has a bigger role to play. It has a more strategic role to play, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So let's talk about the risk. I think that's where there's a lot of nervousness in this whole AI adoption. What could go wrong if companies rush into AI agents for analytic purpose? What's your take on that?
Several things. They may automate bad decisions if the data or logic is wrong. They may
Hmm.
create shadow AI where different teams are using different tools without governance. As we know in the data warehousing world and even doing VI, people used to have small access database somewhere in the backyard, right? So that could be the case. They may expose sensitive data if the access controls are weak. If it's not ring fenced well, there is a problem. They may overtrust AI outputs without validation, and they may
Hmm.
focus on demos instead of solving real business problems.
Hmm. So, what should the real test for an AI analytics initiative should be? If you want to talk about that a little bit.
The real test is not whether the AI can answer a question in a meeting. The real test is whether it can improve the business process the safely and consistently. Right? That requires clear roles, permission, audit trails, guardrails, human approvals where needed, and measurable performance indicators.
Right. So the more powerful the agent, the more important the governance then.
Absolutely. A chatbot giving a wrong answer is one level of risk. An AI agent taking an incorrect action is even bigger a risk. So, in a way, we are coming back to the same fundamentals we learned in the BI, right? Trust, control, adoption, and business value.
Exactly, exactly. So the technology obviously has changed, but the principle they are the same. What we learned, many years ago, isn't it? Cool. All right. So, Zaid, looking ahead, how do you think the analytics experience will change over the next 5 years or so?
Business users will interact with the data much more conversation in a conversation fashion. Okay. Instead of opening a dashboard and applying filters, they will ask questions directly. They will
Hmm.
receive explanations, narratives, recommendations, and alerts. Right? Some decisions still will be human led, but AI will prepare the analysis,
Hmm.
highlight exceptions, and suggest the next steps.
Hmm. So, do you think that in this case we will see like role-based AI agents? For example, finance agent, sales agent, supply chain agent, or governance agent.
Yes, absolutely. I think that is the direction. A CFO may have a finance analytics agent. A sales
Hmm.
leader may have a revenue intelligence agent. A supply
Hmm.
chain head may have an operational agent. A data governance team may have a data quality agent. Each
Hmm.
agent will understand the context, the metrics, the rules, the workflows, and the function. Okay.
Hmm.
But the winning organization will be those that combine AI innovation with strong data foundations. The
Hmm.
companies that treat BI as just a reporting struggle to get any strategic value out of it. The companies that treat AI as just a chatbot will face the same problem.
So the real opportunity is not just modernizing reporting, right? It is I would say redesigning the whole decision making process, right? And maybe reducing the number of meetings where 10 people debate which number is correct. We are able to now do things much more effectively through the whole AI implementation, right?
That alone would justify the investment, I would say. 10 people wasting time.
Absolutely. And AI can reduce the whose number is right, meeting. Then I think we have finally achieved the true digital transformation, if you like. Cool. I think that's great, Zaheer. It has been a fantastic conversation. There was a lot to take away from this podcast, but I think a few takeaways for our listeners. So we talked about BI. It gave organization the structure, consistency, a common view of performance in the past. Dashboards, when they arrived, they made the whole analytics visual and more accessible. And then came the conversational BI, where we are talking about how it allows business users to ask questions in natural language. And then Gen AI makes that analytics now more interactive, more explanatory, and AI agents are now taking it to the next level, by moving the insights to more of recommendations and the actions. And I think the most important message in today's conversation is that the future is not AI replacing BI. I think that's the notion that people need to rethink. The future is the whole AI powered BI, isn't it? So we talked about the fundamentals. I think they still matter. As you said, Zaheer, trusted data. We still need clear definitions, the whole governance, the security, the adoption of the solution. That's all in place, right? That is what I think is unchanged. That's the fundamental for AI adoption today. Right. Okay, Zaheer. So thank you for joining me today and sharing your experience. It has been really, really wonderful having you on the show. Really, really enjoyed it.
Thank you, Raheel. Likewise, I really enjoyed the conversation. It is exciting to see how far the industry has come, and even more exciting to see where it is going. And for those who have just started the old BI, in the old BI world, it is good to know that all those years of arguing about definitions were not wasted after all.
True, absolutely. All the fights that we had in the past, right?
True.
No, absolutely. Thank you, Zaheer, for your time. Thank you, everyone, for listening. If you are a business, technology, or a data leader thinking about how to move from dashboards to AI-powered decision making, this is the right time to start that conversation in your organization. At Edgematics, we are helping organizations build the data foundation, the governance, the AI capabilities that you need for this new era of enterprise intelligence. Until next time, I am Raheel Khan, and this has been Edgematics podcast on data analytics and AI. Thank you for listening.